Hey guys, what's going on? Carter here. Got another video for you. This is going to be how to take down basically a modern coil-fired side opening automatic. For this, I'm going to be using my Spyderco Citadel. This process should work for most, if not all, modern side opening coil-fired automatics. It won't include the double actions. That's a completely different system. Excuse the lighting. I'm kind of shooting in the dark here. Usually I've got at least a little bit of sunlight coming in, so I'm running just off of lamps. And then also bear with me, this process is it's kind of you gotta mess with it for a while. So I don't know how this video is gonna go, if I can actually get this thing back together on camera, or if I'm just gonna have to leave it with explaining how to do it, and you have to trust me that that's how to do it. Because it can take some finagling to get some of these parts back in there. But anyways, so getting right into it. What you've got here, here's the firing button. This one actually features a safety, not all do. This means there's extra parts in here, and I will show you those parts. Pretty interesting. I've already removed the screws with a Torx driver, just to cut time. Right now things are kind of held together, just because everything fits so well on a Spyderco. Yours may not. Yours may want to pop open. The only thing really, there's some spring tension on the blade that's going to make it want to kind of come unjarred if it's not really securely in place. And then there's also some spring tension under that button. So let's go ahead and just remove this scale here. Take a look at what we got. Okay, so everything stayed in place. It looks like the button popped up. Underneath you can see the spring, the safety right here. It's weird doing this. Oh crap. Okay, that was very, very bad. That is exactly what I didn't want to happen. Hold on a sec. Okay. Whew, thought I was in trouble. Okay, this is what I was going to show you, and I was going to make it a point not to lose this. This is a little tiny free bearing. And basically what it does is it works in the safety. It sits right there as soon as we get a focus. It sits in these two holes right here. It actually moves between the holes. So it's positioned in this hole, and when you slide the safety, it's like a detent, and it's just a little tiny bearing that you do not want to lose. So let me go ahead and put that back in there. Okay, so now let's go ahead and remove the blade. There we go, and that detent ball moved out of place. I have to move that before. So blade comes off. It's got a little bushing system here. And here's the coil spring. Main thing to notice is that this little part right here, this little guy sticking up, that's facing up. You got to remember that. So if you're just replacing the spring or whatever, you take this out, put in the new one. Here's the spring. Now when reassembling, because basically this is completely down, there's really nothing else. This is all solid aluminum. You might be able to take this bushing apart, but I'm not going to get into that in this video. I'm making sure to keep everything level and flat to not lose this bearing, not lose that spring. You know, obviously that would be bad. Okay, so here comes the tricky part, putting this thing back together. And it can kind of be a pain. I mean, it's easy in theory to do. It's just, it takes a little finagling, and trying to do it through a camera might be kind of difficult. But here's the gist of it. You're dealing with this spring. You've got two ends sticking out. You've got this one here and this one coming up. And they will interact with this groove here and this hole in the blade. And as you can see, there's a recess on the side where that spring goes in. So basically what you do is pop this in so that this straight piece goes into that groove right there. Just like that. Actually, I gotta angle it. There we go. Now it's in there. In the open position, there's not a lot of tension on the blade, but there is a little bit of tension So this does not just pop straight on there. You are going to have to muscle it a little. So basically, that piece sticking out, you want to align with this hole right here. Sorry if you hear my kid in the background. So I have it in the hole, and then you just kind of want to just push it over onto that pivot like that. And you are good to go with that. Now you're probably going to want to hold it like this to keep everything in line. So next, let's go ahead and get the safety on here. So as you can see, when you push it forward, that's the detent. Now this is the other tricky part, getting this button in here. In theory, it should slide right in and out, right? Just like we did when we took it apart. But everything's so tight that you've got to get this, and of course you want the recess to go on top of the spring there. Everything is just so tight that it seems like it takes for frickin' ever to get it to go straight in. You got to like twist it. And this is the part I was worried about doing on camera, because it just seems like you play with it for 5 minutes and then finally you get it to go in. And I will give it another few seconds here. Oh, got it. Okay, so I got it to go in. I actually kind of let go of the blade a little bit to give it a little bit of wiggle room. So now that that's in there, just gently let it pop up. Take your scale, slide it over all the parts, and you're good to go. It is ready to fire. Alright guys, that went pretty well, except for that ball bearing that I almost lost. It would have been a huge deal. I just wouldn't have had a functional safety, which I don't really like anyways. But yeah, glad I found it. Anyway, so yeah, hopefully that helps you out if you needed to take it apart, clean it, change out the spring, or you're just bored and wanted to play with it. I will talk to you guys later.